Hello guys, welcome to Anita Crickets. My name is Anita. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a crisscross bralette. It's super beginner friendly. It's just a matter of having knowledge about basic stitches, but everything else is super beginner friendly. And let's say this is more like, so I am making for a size medium, and it's going to be in position to fit a 37-38 inch bust. But then if you're making for a size small or size large, I advise if you're making for a size small, you can use the very same yarn, but then you'll make adjustments with the increase as you approach the part which I will call the breast cup. But then if you are making for a size large, I advise that you use the 100-gram weight, which is size 4 yarn. This that I'm going to use is size 2 yarn. It's robin 100% acrylic. It's 50 grams of weight, and it is size 2. All right. But if you're working for a size large, please use the size 4 yarn and do not double your strands. I'm going to be doubling my strands because I need to just get that sort of like gauge or thickness for my work so that I don't spend a whole year trying to work just one bralette. I'm going to be working with a 4.5mm hook. Okay, you can hook down maybe up to like a 4mm or 3.5. More so if you're working for a size small, but if you're working for medium going up, please work with a 4.5mm hook. And you'll need a pair of scissors, darning needle to weave in your ends, and something optional is a stitch marker. If you don't have them, please, you can just improvise like I do. I try to improvise with a few pieces of yarn that I just use as my stitch markers, probably if they're just a different color with the color I'm working with. Now let's get started. I'm going to make a knot just like this, and I'm going to get my hook and insert it into the loop. For the width that I want, first of all, please measure your bust before you get started. And I will love you guys to get the measurements for your bust and divide it by 4. That means if you're a 37 bust inches, okay? I'm not working in centimeters. Also, I forgot you need a tape measure. So if you're working in inches, you will divide 37 by 4 and get the result. So that means you know how long your piece has to be from the center of your back to midway your ribs. Okay, more like as you head to the side of your ribs, which is under your armpits. That means one part of the fourth is going to go, of the 4 is going to be from the center of the back to the mid of your ribs or the sides of your ribs, and then the other part is going to be from the side of your ribs, which is below your armpit, all the way to the front, covering your breast. That will happen to the other half. Okay, part of it will go from the center to the ribs, and then the other to the front of your right breast. Okay, so that's it. So we are working in bits of bits of 4. Okay. Okay, I don't know how to explain that, but at least I tried. So we are going to work 22 stitches. We are going to chain 22, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, now yarn over into the 3rd chain stitch from the hook. You're going to work a double crochet, work a double crochet into the next chain stitch, and continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until you get to the end of your row. This is really going to be the easiest thing you can make for your daughter, for yourself, for a friend. I really don't know. I just pray that whoever meets this is really glad to have a tutorial of this, maybe for a friend if it doesn't suit your age group or age bracket. So when you get to the end of your row, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. Into the very first stitch, you're going to work 1 double crochet and continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row. So once you come to the end of your row, this is how your work is going to look like, okay? So you will chain 2, turn your work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row. Once again, chain 2, turn your work, do the very same thing until you have the total number of rows that actually adds up to the inches or stretches up to the inches you got for the first quarter, of your work, okay? For me, I'm going to work this until I am almost there, then I get back and just explain to you what I exactly mean by the first quarter. So guys, I have 17 rows in total, and if I measure it up, you can see that remember I said I'm dealing with a 38 inch bust, okay, but also it can stretch up to a 38, 39. Yeah, I can be sure it can fit a 39. So this is it. As you can see, I have 8.5. Literally it can meet the 9, because if you divide 38, if you divide 37 divide by 4, you will find that I have to work in bits of 4 inches, like every quarter of the piece has to be up to like 9 inches, okay? And literally my 17 inches gave me 8.5. Sorry, my 17 rows gave me 8.5 inches, which is close to 9, okay? And what I meant that it can fit a 38, 39 bust is because it's in position to like stretch out, all right? So that's what I meant. And from here, I'm going to start working the increase for my breast cup, but just to let you guys be certain, if you're working in centimeters, not inches, it's up to 22 centimeters. So now I'm going to start working on my increase, and this is what I am going to do. Before I even chain 2, I'm going to count 10 stitches. I'm going to count 10 stitches. Why I say 10 is because we have 20 stitches in total. So the 10th stitch is going to be like the center of our piece, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and I'm going to mark the 10th stitch right there, just like that. So if you have stitch markers, please use those. If you don't have, improvise like I am. I'm going to chain 2, turn my work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch, and then I'm going to continue with 1 double crochet into every stitch until I get to the marked stitch. Right here into the marked stitch, I'll take out my stitch marker. Into the marked stitch right there, I'm going to work 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch. Then I will continue with 1 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my row. Once I come to the end of my row, this is how your work has to look like. It may not show an increment as yet, but that's where we are headed for. Now you're going to chain 2, turn your work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch, and then work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the center of your work where you previously worked an increase. This is it. So in the middle of these 2 double crochets we previously worked, we are going to work 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch, and then continue with 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row. So basically we are making an increase at the beginning of the row and the center of the piece. So I'll get to show you how my work looks like. This is my second row of increase, and this is how it looks like. And you literally can see some kind of gradual increase, and it's going to get more and more wider as we go on with the increment. So chain 2, turn your work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch, 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the center of your work where you previously worked an increase. Yeah, this is it. So into this stitch I am going to work 2 double crochets all in the very same stitch, and then continue with 1 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of the row. So basically this is what you are going to do. Okay, this is what you are going to do. I worked that for a total number of sizes small, please make a total of 5 rows of an increase. Sizes medium, which I am working, make a total of 7 rows of an increase. Okay, so literally just follow exactly what I have been doing for the increase, making an increase at the beginning of the row and the center of the piece. Okay, by working 2 double crochets into the very first stitch, 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the center of the piece, and then work 2 double crochets into that stitch, then continue with 1 double crochet until the end of the row. So I'm going to work my piece until I have the number of rows I have to have for my increase. If you're working for sizes large, please, as you work, measure the width here and see whether it's in position to like cover the entire breast, like the entire breast, because this, as much as here it's the width, but once you are putting on the top, it's going to be like the length. So you measure the length of the top of your breast to the bottom of it, then you can get back to your work and see whether the width here is in position to meet the length you just got. Okay, so work your rows, and I'm going to meet you at the end of it, then show you what to do next. So I've come to the end of my increase and I have 7 rows of an increase. Okay, this is how my work looks like. As you can see, it is like super wide. I feel like it is too wide, but then that's what can fit the size I'm making this for. So for a size small, I guess this width, like I said, 5 rows of an increase, this width is just perfect. Now from here we are going to chain 2 now that I have the width I need for my bralette, or which is going to be the length from the top of your breast to underneath your breast. This is it. So here I'm going to be working 1 double crochet, chain 2, turn your work, 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row. Okay, this is just going to help us curve our work so that our breast can literally just sit in there perfect. So I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my work, and this I am going to do for 3 rows. Okay, so just do this until you have 3 rows in total, just no more double crochets, no increase whatsoever. And the 3 rows apply to both someone making for a size small or someone working for a size large, or whichever. Just work 3 rows. it will only vary if you're working with a different size of yarn, because now that will give you a different result. Okay, but whichever the case may be, try to make sure that you have your tape measure close to you, so you just see that you are working within the range of inches or centimeters your bust measured up to. Okay, so work this until you have 3 rows, and I'll meet you right there and show you what to do next. So I have finished working my 3 rows, and now I am going to start working on a decrease. And this is what I will do. I'll chain 2, turn my work 2 double crochets together into the first 2 stitches. Okay, and then I am going to work 1 double crochet. I forgot to mention, please count your work and mark the center of your row, just to be sure. Let me just count mine and mark it. So I have 35 stitches in total on my row, and I'm going to mark the that's 35 divided by 2, that gives me 17. All right, so I'm going to mark the 18th, because I'm going to get 17 remainder 1, so I'm going to mark the 18th stitch. So I'll mark the 18th stitch just like that. So once you have worked your 2 double crochets together, work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the marked stitch. So once here, I'll take out my stitch marker, and now into the 18th stitch and the next stitch after that, I'm going to work 2 double crochets together just like that, and I'll continue with 1 double crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my row. So once I come to the end of my row, I'm going to chain to turn my work 2 double crochets together into the first and second stitch, and then work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I get to the decrease that I made in the center of my row. So once here, you will work 2 double crochets together into this stitch and the one that was the decrease of the previous row, just like that, and then work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row. So basically what we are doing is not different from what we did for the increase. Here we are just trying to make a decrease at the beginning of the row and then a decrease at the center of the row. Okay, and it's just the very same thing we did when we were working our increment. So once again, once you get to the end of your row, you'll chain to turn your work 2 double crochets together into the first and second stitch, and then work 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the decrease you previously made, and there still you'll work 2 double crochets together. Let me just get there and do it for you guys one last time, and then I'll let you guys work the rest of the project on your own. So this stitch that comes before the decrease and then the one that is the decrease, we work 2 double crochets together and then continue with 1 double crochet into every stitch until I get to the end of my row. So this is how my work looks like. You can see that we are starting to get a decrease, more like a curve. Okay, So I'm going to let you guys work this until you come to the end of your row, and you should have something like this until you have one stitch left. So once you have one stitch left, you'll work a chain, a couple of chains, just long enough to make a strap that will go all the way to the back of your neck and make a knot. Okay, so you can make it like this, or even make it longer, or you can make it short in but having in mind that it's going to be in position to like stretch out and go to the back of your neck and make that knot. Okay, so you're going to have this decrease go all the way up to here and work those chains. Once you have all that done, you are going to follow the very same steps from the beginning until where we are right now. Okay, from the beginning up to the end, and make a second piece of this, because this is from the center of your back to the left breast. And now you are going to make another piece that will be from the center of your back to the right breast. All right, and once you have both pieces complete, you will get to the foundation chains of each piece. Put the pieces together just like this. Okay, and get your yarn. You will insert your yarn into, you'll insert your hook into you will insert your hook into the very first stitch of each piece, just like this. And here you will attach your yarn, pull through yarn and work a chain. All right, and then once again into that very same stitch, you will insert your hook and work a single crochet. Okay, so once again into the next stitch, you will work one single crochet, work another single crochet into the next stitch. Please, this is more like to help us join the two pieces, and we are joining from the center of the back. That's where the seam is going to be. So you are going to do this until you have all stitches fully attached. Okay, let me just show you how it looks on the other side. See this? So you are going to do this until both stitches are fully attached, and when I get back, I am going to show you how to work the border or the edges of your work so that we can have clean edges, and also a simple design at the edge of our bralette. Okay, so once you have fully attached your piece and it looks like this, do not cut your yarn. I made a mistake and cut mine, so I made a mistake and cut my yarn, so now I'm trying to attach it. But then do not cut your yarn. Now once you are here, you are going to work one single crochet into this double crochet post, chain 3, and work a slip stitch into the first chain stitch. Okay, then work a single crochet into the middle of these two posts. Okay, now here you work one single crochet into the middle of this double crochet post, then chain 3, work a slip stitch into the first chain. So this is more like to make our picot. Then get into where these two double crochet posts actually get together. But if this is going to confuse you, you can just work 2 single crochets into every double crochet post, keeping in mind that one of the single crochets has to have a picot on top, the other has to be like a normal single crochet stitch. So here into this double crochet post, we are going to work 1 single crochet, chain 3, work a slip stitch into the first chain stitch, making a picot, and we shall work the second single crochet stitch in there. See what I'm trying to get? Once again, you will do the same thing, work 1 single crochet in here. Okay, and then chain 3, work your slip stitch, making a picot, and then the second single crochet will be worked into that double crochet post once again. So one single crochet will be in the middle of the post and the other at the end of the double crochet post. But just make sure every post, every single one single crochet of the two single crochets must have a picot on top. So work one single crochet and then work a single crochet into the next post, chain 3, work a slip stitch making a picot, and then work your second single crochet at the end of the post. Okay, so do this until you come to the end of your double crochet posts. That means you are going to work this until you get to the chains which had to be which are the chains for our strap. And that's where I'm going to meet you guys and show you what to do next. Let me just show you how it looks like. You see? So I'm going to let you guys do this on your own until you get to this point, until you get to the end of our double crochet posts right here. That's where I'm going to meet you and then show you how to go over the chains for our strap and then get onto this other side as well and work the very same thing. So let me get back and show you what to do next. So this is how my work looks like. Okay, and now I am going to, when I get to the chains that are for my strap, I'm going to be working one single crochet into every chain stitch, just like this. Until I come to the end of my strap. So once you come to the end of your strap, okay, just like that, into this very last stitch you are going to work 3 single crochets. This is more like to help you make that U-turn. And once you have 3 single crochets in there, you are going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch. That means we are working on the opposite side of our foundation chains. So you work 1 single crochet into every stitch, going all the way to all the way back to where we are coming from. But then now here, once you have this, you are going to just work your single crochets from here going back to now the body of our bralette, and now you will work on this side as well, just like that. Okay, and go all the way up to this second or the right breast cup, and getting back up to here where you will work a slip stitch once you have come to the end of working on the edge of your bralette. All right, so I'll just get back to you and show you how my bralette looks like. And I'll thank you all so much for watching my tutorials. Please go and check out my Facebook group. It's called Knitted Crochets Community. You can get there and share anything you have made that has been inspired by my designs or my tutorials. My Etsy and Ravelry stores are open for orders because I have plenty of patterns there anyone can purchase. And if you go and purchase from me, that will be super great. Please make it a point to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Knitted Crochets, and on Twitter it's Crochet Duchess. Thank you so much for watching. Let me see you all in my next tutorial. Goodbye.